So yes, Fallout 4 is out. Hello there, my fellow Vault Dwellers and Wasteland Wonders. What's up? It's Robbie with Overworld Games, and we're taking a look at the top tips involving free roaming the game without throwing your controller and breaking it against the wall, plus using the Lone Wanderer perk with a companion. What? And then we're going to talk about messing around with perks without starting a new character build. It's sort of a way that you can actually experiment with perks with your save file, and I think it's extremely useful. And then we're going to be going into stuff like settlement tips and stuff like that. So let us begin right now. So first of all, this should help you out with free roaming the game, because it can be actually quite frustrating to be roaming around, minding your own business, and then a super mutant just explodes your entire body with a rocket launcher. Yes, that happens in this game. And it can happen quite often. So, I highly recommend grabbing the awareness perk immediately at the beginning of the game. This will help you when free roaming the wasteland, because it will show enemy levels and resistances. It sounds like something so simple that maybe you would actually skip over until later in the game, but I highly recommend grabbing it immediately. Are they resistant to radiation damage? And then you can take them on properly to retreat, and then return with a modified weapon to take them down. Plus, you can identify those legendary enemies. Also, the Lone Wanderer perk may sound worthless to many of you simply because it applies to those that travel alone. And I know a lot of you don't want to be lonely in the wasteland. You have to have a companion. But get this, if you travel with your good friend Dogmeat, you will still have the effects of Lone Wanderer perk even with Dogmeat by your side. So if you invest into this perk and the attack dog perk, you can have quite the potent AI buddy, believe you me. And don't forget to use your dog as a pack mule, by the way. Load him up with all sorts of gear. Just don't break his back. So you've just been notified that you can level up finally. And a lot of you scratch your head wondering, what perk shall I go with now? So get this, you can experiment with certain perks during your first few hours, and I'm going to tell you how you can do that. So once you are notified that you can level up, save your game with a recognizable screenshot, because usually there's a screenshot that is taken to let you know, oh hey, this is the part of the game that you are on. I usually have my Pip-Boy light on from third person, staring at the ground, signifying that I am about to level up. So I can go through the screenshot, see a green glow, my dude is in third person, he's looking at the ground. I know, okay, I'm about to level up in that save file. So what you can do is you can go back to this file and experiment with different perks without worrying about choosing the wrong ones. So you can go into the file, choose attack dog, mess around with Dogmeat, see if you like that perk, choose Lone Wanderer, choose Aqua Boy. Is it really worth being able to swim under the water, that sort of thing. That's really a good way to mess around with the perks. In fact, you can save 2 or 3 levels without investing, so you can go and be notified 2 or 3 times about leveling up and just ignore it and then save your game. And what you can do with that is you can max out a perk all at once and experiment with the highest rank perk if you wanted to. This is especially useful at the beginning of the game, simply because you level up much faster in the beginning than in the end. And when placing an object in your settlement, that object will grab from whatever it can if it does not have the proper raw resources. So if you have an item that requires copper, it may break down a phone for you without you even asking it to. But what happens to the other components like fiberglass that were part of the phone? So they should automatically end up in your workbench, but there is a known problem with this, that sometimes they do not and sometimes they do. A good workaround to this is to break down materials manually by dropping them within the perimeter of the settlement and then scrapping them. I have found that this completely fixes the problem altogether, and you should be good to go. And all of your materials will automatically go to your workbench, so always check it. And by the way, stim packs can be rather expensive, especially if you're constantly healing yourself throughout the game. So whatever you do, I highly recommend considering exploring the area for beds and remembering where they're at and using those instead. It will save you a lot of money in bottle caps, for sure. One thing that I tended to neglect was the power of the melee bash in combat. So use the butt of your rifle when you can. You'd be surprised at how much damage you could pull off with this. Do not neglect this at all. It is quite something. And if you have noticed, you can use benches, chairs, and the like to advance time. This is actually fun to mess around with. Just sit down, watch the sun go down, choose the perfect setting for your mood. You know, I like to go with rain during the evening with a storm. You can actually sort of choose that by using this mechanic, and I love it. So there you have it, my tips for Fallout 4. I am having a total blast with this game. You guys have no idea. Please, again, post your comments about what you think of the game. They really did nail it with this one. I think it's like one of the more perfect open world games released in recent memory. I'm having very little glitches, by the way, which is very surprising for a Bethesda game. I was like, what? I was expecting way more glitches than this, so I'm very impressed with that, considering the scope and size of Fallout 4. But thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Fallout 4 here on Open World Games, and I will see you in the Wasteland. See you guys later.